Hey guys, welcome to my laundry chronicles. As you can see, I got a nice big stack of laundry to fold, so I got a nice little chunk of time to be able to think through some of the crap going on in my life. So let's get started. So as I said before, a different video, my therapist mentioned something about finding, oh, I love when this happens. My socks are still folded. Anyway, mentioning something about trying to find happiness in my life, that being the goal. What makes you happy? And I'm already in the midst of an existential crisis. We can't call it a midlife crisis because I am nowhere near midlife. So, God willing. So I'm having a moment. I'm having a moment trying to figure out what happens. I mean, totally tangential, but people say in your 20s is one thing, but your 30s is a whole other. So, I'm in my 30s and I'm trying to figure out what's next. So anyway, like I said, I'm supposed to be happy, and I have no idea what that means for my life, which sounds really stupid in a lot of ways, but that just kind of is the reality of a situation. I am not actually sure what real happiness looks like in a life. I'm just not sure. I don't necessarily think that that's a bad thing. I mean, sure, I'm definitely like, oh no, I don't know what happiness is. So like, that's a thing. Don't get me wrong, that's a problem. But I don't necessarily think that the fact that I don't know what it looks like, particularly in my life, is the biggest problem. And I say that because it's not like I haven't strived for other important things. Strove. You can comment and tell me which one it is. Meanwhile, my lawyer mother is mad that I don't know the answer to that. But like I said, I have focused on other things which have been good. They've been good. I'm not upset in any way about the things that I have chosen to focus on. I have worked on being content, and contentment is always good, because when you're not content, you are constantly searching for the next best thing. And you're never satisfied with where you're at in life, and that's not good. And for me, that matters, not just because that personally matters, but also it's what I was taught, which is helpful in its own right. It's helpful. I think one of my own personal struggles, and I will talk about it at another time, is that I don't necessarily do things in moderation well. So, knowing that being content is important is a good lesson, and I don't exactly know where that lesson begins and then ends. That's on me. Again, a part of my crisis. I don't know where contentment is good and enough, or if I should be searching for something else. Then, of course, this is also a whole nother issue for a whole nother day. I spent some time dealing with my mental health, and I had to do this 16-week course on DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy. That's a whole thing that we could talk about at a later date, but it is good. And it's important, and I love it, and I think more people should do it. Um, that being said, we'll cross that bridge at another time. So anyway, I did 16 weeks of learning how to think differently and learning how to, what they call, check the facts and see what's important, and separate the difference between what is real factually and what is real perceptually. And both can be validated. There is nothing wrong with one or the other. The problem is when they're taken out of context. So if you need to focus on the reality facts of a situation, then you need to focus on that and not put your personal perception of it on it. That's where you have a problem. And it's good, because I need to learn that, because again, I got mental health stuff that I need to work through. And so I learned in that to learn about deep emotion, which is important, because I have bipolar type 2 and anxiety issues, as well as borderline personality disorder. And ironically enough, with the drugs, that did not cause the existential crisis, which again, we'll have a whole nother conversation about mental health. But to know that my mental health is not the problem why I'm losing it. So anyway, I will feel things very deeply, but I can't always tell what that emotion is. And so I had to spend a lot of time learning emotions, learning different emotions, learning the difference between anger and frustration, and the difference between inherently sadness and being depressed, which is something I really need to understand so that I don't cycle into my depression. And the fact that apathy is not a good feeling, and it is actually a feeling despite the weirdness definition of it all. So again, I had to focus on deeper emotions. I say that because one of the deeper emotions I had to focus on was joy. And joy is great, and it is deep. And joy is found in a place that is not circumstantial. So I can have joy and feel joy in a relationship. A relationship can bring me joy in the sense of I am blessed to have it in my life. I am grateful to have it in my life. You get what I'm trying to say. I can experience and appreciate the experience I'm having and think about it in the big picture. Joy is big picture. Joy is continual. I was always taught to look at things like joy, where it doesn't really matter. I perceive from growing up, what I took from certain conversations, because let me not badmouth my mom and my dad. That's what I got from that is what I got from that. That ain't on them. Growth. So yeah, no, what I took from different things that I heard in my childhood was that the goal is not to live for the moment. The moment doesn't matter. Big picture, long term matters. So joy matters. Depression matters. Heavy feelings like that, anger matters. And happiness is fleeting. Happiness, I remember, and this is again probably part of my bipolar and everything else, I can't stand being miserable. I can't stand it. And the funny thing is, I think I can't stand it because I I know where it leads. I can't stay in misery, because for me, misery it spirals so quickly. And I think I know that inherently. I feel that deep in my spirit that like I can't afford to be miserable. And so I don't want to be miserable in anything that I do in my life at all. And of course, when you're younger and you're thinking about the things that you need to figure out and what you want to do, the main thought you have is, I don't want to be miserable at work. You know, I don't want a job that makes me unhappy. I feel like I should enjoy my job. I feel like I should be content. I feel like I should I feel like I want to enjoy my job. I guess at that age I thought that would be for me the definition of happy. I want to be happy at my job. And I was what I thought, or what I got from certain conversations was, you know, happiness doesn't pay the bills. You can be happy all you want, but if you need you don't need to be happy to pay your Duke Energy bill. You need a job that takes care of rent, water, electricity, gas. It doesn't actually matter if your job makes you happy, if it pays those bills. So what we're not going to do is forego our bills for happiness. And that is a very logical, important thought process, especially living in a day and age where everything is about how you feel. And feelings are important. Like I said, I don't do middle ground well. So I took that as in don't feel. That's wrong. Don't do that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying don't feel. I'm saying that everything isn't always what you feel, or everything isn't your feelings. Stop. There are feelings, and there are facts, and there's truth, and there's other people's opinions, and they kind of all work together to make a situation, which is why situations are so complicated. Anyway, all of that exists. So it can't just be how you feel. It's not that simple. That being said, I don't think at this point in my life, I'm now under the impression or the thought process that doesn't mean you throw happiness out the window. Problem is, I threw happiness out the window. So here we are 20 years later, and my therapist goes, you should be happy. And I go, happy. What does that even mean? Can you use it in a sentence? Can I get the origin of the word? And it bothers me, because not just because I'm an intellectual person, I don't like not know the answer to things. That's part of it, but that's not something that's going to keep me up at night. I feel like I just hear it all the time. I hear, this makes me happy. People are happy in this situation. Oh, my friends make me happy. You know, X, Y, and Z makes you happy. And I don't understand. I don't understand that feeling. I can't relate. And that kind of makes me feel really sad for myself. It makes me feel like I was missing out on something, and now it's almost too late to experience it. Either you have it or you don't. And again, I don't necessarily know if that's true. I don't know if that's real. I just know that that's how I feel. So I'm now in this place where I gotta learn what happiness is. And I just I don't even know where to begin with that. I don't even know. Like, and I had a conversation with my husband. Bless him. Lord bless him. I had a conversation with him, and I was like, please don't let your goal be to make me happy. And that was probably one of the most honest things I've ever said to anybody. But I know it's probably the most honest thing I've ever said to him. And it's been like 7 years for us. Please don't make your goal to make me happy, because I don't know what that feels like, and therefore it's an unattainable goal for you. I will never be satisfied in whatever you're giving me, and I won't ever appreciate what you're trying to do, because I don't know where the line is. I don't know what the concept is. I don't know anything. You're trying to provide me with something that I've never experienced, and it's not going to go well for you. And it's going to make you upset, and it's going to make me confused, and we're going to fight, and we don't need more reasons to fight. We don't need any more reasons to not have communication, okay? Marriage is hard enough. We have enough fights. We're out here trying to pay bills, raise a child, communicate with each other, not hate lives individually. There is no reason for us to argue and fight about just what happiness is and how you should attain it. I don't care. So I want to know what it feels like. I want to know how to get to it. Then again, shout out to therapy. I feel like I can get to it. I feel like I will. That's not out of the question. I feel I'm going unfiltered. So the truth is, I feel stupid. I feel stupid for not understanding a basic emotion. And when I say basic, I mean, you go to the doctor and they have a little sign up there with the little faces, and they're like happy, sad, angry, whatever. And there's a whole picture on there that I don't understand. And I feel stupid needing to ask people and ask my friends maybe, because I feel like a child now, where I'm like, hey, what's happiness? Somebody explain to me. I feel stupid, like something I should have known from the beginning, and now here I am at my old age, just stupid. I feel stupid. Now, feeling stupid is not going to stop me from asking, because despite what other people may say or has been said in my past, I'm not prideful. I'm not afraid to ask. Pride would not be doing their life unfiltered. Okay? I don't always have shame. I don't really have any shame right now. Like, there's no shame in my game. I don't know what it is, and I have to figure out what it is. And so, I'm asking questions to people. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure out the standards, or where that goes and what that looks like. And I'm just confused. And I'm trying to have patience, because that is something that I don't do well. That is an honest to God truth. I do not do patience well. I can have a type of patience. I can be patient in the practical. I can be patient in the fact that, like, bro, if I put my chicken in the oven and it takes 25 minutes, it's going to take 25 minutes. And I'm not out here trying to make it go faster. I'm not looking at the timer like, oh my God, my chicken. So I have patience in that sense. But sometimes outside of that, no. I especially when it's something I deem important, especially when it's something I'm trying to value, I feel like I need to know. I feel like I'm falling short, missing out on something in life, Not even in a bad way. Like, oh, no, it's not FOMO. It's like, I feel like there's a piece of my life missing because I don't understand this basic concept. And I'm not okay with that. And so having to have patience to wait to learn this concept is killing me slowly. Okay. Not killing me as bad as folding this laundry, but it's killing me slowly. And I don't know. I have no idea. Sometimes I don't know how to process this stuff. And this is why I don't like folding laundry, because what else is there to do but process? Like, I've tried TV. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying what else is there to do as if I can't do something else. I'm saying what else is there to do when we all know that you're not really paying attention to whatever else is on. All of a sudden your mind starts wandering, not just why do we have this many clothes? Side note, I just want to say that, like, this is just me and my husband's clothes. These aren't my daughter's. The sadness of my life. But yeah, no, I sit and I think about these things, and I think about them not just because I want to come back to therapy and have felt productive, which is, true, something I do like to do. I like to have thought about the questions or the ideas that were brought to the table, because I'm not trying to be lazy. Especially because when I say I'm not trying to be lazy, it's because I'm inherently lazy. It's not a fear that I have because, oh my God, lazy people. It's like, oh my God, let me not be lazy, because I can hear that, think about the fact that I have no idea what that is, and then go, you know what? I've lived this long without it. I guess I'll spend the rest of my days not dealing with it. I got too much other crap on my plate to be missing a chunk of my life like that. So I'm sitting here folding laundry. I am not sure how to take on what my therapist has brought to the table for me. And right now, I think I'm honestly just trying to work through the feeling of it all. I'm just working through the feeling. Like, how do I feel about knowing that I think there is something missing in my life because I don't have something that I perceive to be normal that other people have? How am I processing that? Because I have to process these things. I have to deal with my emotions even when I don't want to, because my emotions left unchecked are dangerous. They're dangerous. And so I have to be responsible for not spiraling out of control with my emotions. Now, I'm here to spiral out of control with my life. Don't even worry about that. I spiral in a heartbeat. I'm good for spiraling. I'm here doing my life unfiltered because I spiraled. And I did that mentally. I can't afford to spiral emotionally. I have to function, and I do not function when my life spirals emotionally. So I'm trying to process. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to figure out what I'm not okay with the fact that I don't know what happiness is, but am I okay with knowing that that's the starting point? I think that's the place I want to get to. I want to get to a place where I'm okay accepting that this is just my beginning, and it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Like, I'm not less for it. I'm not a bad person because of it. I just, this is just where I'm starting. So, sometimes I feel okay with it. Sometimes I'm not okay. Sometimes I wish stupid was the only thing I felt. Sometimes I look at the situation and I feel inadequate. Sometimes the situation makes me wonder, how I even found a husband. Why someone chooses to love me, why my friends are okay with me, because I'm clearly not, I feel like I'm not a whole person. And that's definitely not something that that's definitely something I don't want to sit in. I don't feel good about sitting in that. So, I want to be better. I want to feel better. I want to do better. I want to be happy. I want to learn what happiness is and enjoy it while it's there. And be okay that happiness can be fleeting. I think I've always been so scared of that. Like, scared of emotions that don't last. Because sometimes my emotions are a roller coaster, and when something doesn't last, it makes me scared that I'm getting ready to go into a situation that I have no business being in. And I need to learn that that's not true, and everything isn't like that. But like I said, constantly struggling with moderation. I want to be in a place where I'm okay with it, with stuff being for a moment. I'm okay that this lasted for this season. This lasted for this moment, and I enjoyed it in this moment, and now we're moving past it. That feels like a good goal. That feels like something I want to be proud of myself in. That feels like something I want to be like, oh, what a goal. I've attained it. Look at me. A whole human. Yeah. That's where I want to get. That's what I want to strive for. To find a level of happiness that I might not have seen or heard or found before. I'm okay with things being temporary when that temporary doesn't mean I ruined it. Because that's, oh my God, that's an inherent feeling that I have. That the only reason why this is no longer here is because I ruined it. And it wouldn't have been temporary if I had acted like I had some home training. That's a real thing that I have in my mind all the time. Stuff lasts when you do it right. Do it right the first time so you don't have to do it again later. Good lesson. Not a hard fact of life. So, I don't know. I say all that to say that I'm really, really trying to grasp this concept of happiness, and I really, really am going to be open to thoughts and ideas and perspectives, and talk to my friends, and talk to my husband, not in a bad way, to an extent, because sometimes there's just stuff that communicationally it just gets lost in translation. That's all. I think it just gets lost in translation. And if there are things that I would like to communicate with my husband, I would like to focus on those, because that takes enough effort to not get lost in translation. I have zero reason to add anything else to that. What I would love to do with my husband, because that's what he's there for, is to experiment, see things, hear things, try things, and say, hey, does this work? Is this looking good for me? Am I making progress? I feel happy and safe and comfortable doing that's a big deal. Anything past that, we'll work on that later. Maybe that's like year 10. So yeah, this is why I don't like doing laundry. Not only do I think about the heavy things that I don't want to think about, that I normally can ignore in other areas of my life, I also think about the fact that I was able to do all that, talk about all that, and yet still be folding laundry. Guys, we are 30 minutes later, and a homie is just getting to a decent place. Just getting to a place where I can stop, because not only am I done with wanting to sorry, not only am I done wanting to deal with these aspects of my life, but I don't have anything left to fold except underwear. And I'm unfiltered, but I'm not that unfiltered. So thanks for listening. I need to clearly get some water and finish folding, because the only thing worse than folding is putting away. But it must be done, because clearly you see I've completely taken over my bed with laundry, and I don't know how let me not lie. I could go to sleep. I got this nice little space right here in the middle. I can go to sleep. What I can't do is have my husband come home and be like, what has happened to our bed? So I appreciate you listening to my rant. This is just a small portion of what I think about while I'm doing 30 minutes worth of laundry. And don't worry, I'll be back, because the laundry always manages to come back too. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. If you found this video inspiring, entertaining, or relatable, hit the like button, share with your friends, or subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of my personal journey. Also, check the description below for more links to comment, ask questions, learn more about me, how to see more content, and if you want, visit my life coaching business. See you in the next video.